First, he writes, in a word, jealous. And I say, jealous of what? Jealous of getting fired from Blockbuster? Having to beg for money? Living with or living off of my parents? Stealing from the ignorant? Lying to the masses? In another comment, which is not a reply to that comment, he says, looks like PayPal didn't shut down Venom Fang X. You lied. Just checked. You lied about and openly. What does that mean? I don't... A fellow YouTuber replies, PayPal did shut down his account, and he opened a new one, which is going to get that fraudster in even deeper shit. Please watch Lord Hathor's video response to this one. He says, in response to that comment, you don't get it. That's not what happened. PayPal reopened because the charge was shallow, and PayPal likes transaction fees. I'm not sure what that means. My response to that response, number 1, wrong. Watch part 1 of this video, as Akatem said, but actually meant was watch part 2. Number 2, why would I lie, knowing everyone here could go and see for themselves? That's a recipe for a humiliation the likes of which only PCS himself has had the blatant disregard for truth to endure. His response, number 1, name-calling, referring to the term PCS, which I used in my previous comment. Number 2, plagiarism without attribution from Thunderfoot, again with regard to the term PCS. Number 3, vulgar mouth, that vonk blammed vivel snaffer. What the fuck does that mean? Real convincing. And my response, number 1, with regard to name-calling, he does the same thing all day long. So what if I point out his stupidity and hypocrisy? Get over it. Number 2, plagiarism implies you've taken something that was thought up by someone else and claimed it as your own. I've quoted in mirrored videos in which T-Foot himself said the word PCS regarding PCS. So anyone who isn't a retard and who's actually seen any of my videos or his knows that it came from him. I don't need to cite the resource for every single phrase that I use. Number 3, free speech, bitch. Now an interesting thing happened when I looked at this fella's YouTube account. I found this video. Tony48219 was an atheist. Look, another subscriber. I'll read it to you. About a year or so ago, I found some of Tony48219's videos for the first time. My opinion was that they were satirical in nature, done by an atheist, and done in the style of Edward Current and the Christian Ninja. They were done in a manner that made conservatives and Christians look outrageously silly and offending. This is just one man, who happened to be an atheist. However, he doesn't represent the opinion of all atheists. I agree. I don't know what he's agreeing with. I guess he's agreeing with himself. Just an opinion, before anyone jumps on the bandwagon. This idea that somebody on YouTube, anyone for that matter, caused it is false. I assume he's referring to the murder-suicide. Tony just had some problems to deal with. Well, sure. I don't know that anyone said that anyone like Venom Fang X or you or anybody else on YouTube was directly responsible. However, this campaign to distance yourselves as Christians from Tony by saying he wasn't a Christian, Venom Fang X himself said he wasn't a Christian, and this is in light of his Christian parents, one of whom I think was like a reverend or something. Obviously they were religious, crying on the news about their son and that he needed their prayers. And people are getting on YouTube saying, oh, he wasn't a real Christian. He was just faking it. Or he wasn't a good enough Christian to be considered a real Christian. This seems absolutely, utterly indefensible and outrageous. I absolutely cannot justify this level of stupidity in my mind. How do you fit that much stupid into your fucking skull? What is wrong with you people? The atheist community has been pretty fucking lax about this whole issue. The guy was obviously... he obviously had issues, okay? And the atheist community, even though he was a Christian, we never said, not collectively, and the major players in the atheist community on YouTube never said that it was caused by his Christianity, that it was caused by Venom Fang X or any other Christian or any other person than himself and his own personal problems. We never talked bad about the guy. We never talked bad about his parents. We never blamed it on his religion. You folks have been trying to distance yourselves from him as far and as quickly as possible so that you can avoid any religious backlash. You know, people saying, like you say about Hitler all the time, not personally, but as a whole, I hear all the time, Hitler was an atheist. You know, obviously, of course, this is untrue. Hitler was a Roman Catholic, but they use it anyway. Hitler was an atheist, they say. And they don't want us to use the same thing. Oh, well, Tony48219 was a Christian. So they say, oh, well, not a true Christian. So that's their argument. And it's just fucking pathetic. And the really sad thing is, we weren't doing that anyway. And they're tarnishing this guy's memory to avoid something that we publicly said. I said, not that anybody pays attention to me, but I believe DPR Jones and a couple other of the major players in the Christian or in the atheist community on YouTube said specifically, don't make a big deal out of it. Leave him alone. It's a grieving family. It's terrible. Just leave it alone. And that's what we did for the most part. From everything I can tell, that's what we did. And it's the Christians that are pushing this agenda of distancing themselves, no matter who it ends up hurting. And I'm disgusted by it. I'm disgusted by you, my opinion, V, and I'm disgusted by Venom Fang X, and by everyone else who's intentionally tried to distance themselves from this guy when all that he did was try desperately to get your attention, try desperately to agree with you and show his support for you and show how right you were in his opinion. And you're tarnishing his memory in the light of that. It's unfucking believable. I mean, you don't have to say nice things about a guy because he killed somebody, obviously, but you don't have to talk shit about him. And if you're a Christian, calling you an atheist is the equivalent of calling them a sinner fucktard. Atheists are the #1 least trusted minority in America. Lower than Muslims, lower than gays, lower than black people. And I don't think that gays, black people, or Muslims should be on the bottom. Obviously, I don't think anybody should be on the bottom, but I guess there's got to be the bottom, and guess what? We're the bottom! It's goddamn infuriating. The level of hypocrisy, stupidity, and lies, and it just makes me want to tear my fucking hair out at you people. You're unbelievable. You're goddamn hypocrites. I am so sick of this shit. How did we as a community, as a society, as a country, as a people get to this level of stupidity and hypocrisy? Don't we have built-in filters for this shit? I guess that's it for this video. I don't really have anything else to say except for the same thing again but louder. So I'm going to say that after I stop recording. And as always, much love to you all.